Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing a hot topic. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, said that the American International School in Abuja refunded the fees paid for the children of former Governor Yahaya Bello to the tune of $760,000 in advance fees for 5 years of his children from the coffers of the Kogi State Government. Now, what are your thoughts on this? So we took that story last week when the news broke out, and then the school had refunded the money, and they confirmed that they had returned the money, and I think the EFCC also confirmed that they had received. However, the former governor, Yahaya Bello, has denied paying the school fees from the coffers of government, and that's the conversation this morning. What are your thoughts on this? This is, if you recall, the EFCC had filed an 80 billion naira money laundering case against the former governor of Kogi State, and this is getting quite messy because the case is now has gone to court. But the quick release or the quick return of the money, and the fact that he's saying that the money did not come from the coffers of the government. What are your thoughts? Let me come to you, Nima. What are your initial thoughts?
So this, for me, is very heartbreaking. The back and forth.
Which part of it is heartbreaking?
It's heartbreaking in the sense that there's an abuse of the justice system happening right now. And we see it every time politicians have a criminal case to answer. So Governor Yahaya Bello had gone and got an injunction restraining the EFCC from investigating or even serving him any process. And so the EFCC had put a wanted notice on him, which contravenes the restraining order. Now they are back in court. The EFCC chairman is now in contempt of court. You know all those dirtiness. That's where they break my heart, because they now say, is you people lawyer, all of you lawyer, because lawyers will have to represent them anyway. You have you uphold the democracy that brought you to office. You've been fed from democracy. The tenets of it has made you governor for 8 years. Why are you restraining an independent security institution from investigating you? Why are you getting a restraining order for that purpose? What are your fears? If a charge is brought against you, you can simply show up, have your day in court, clear your name, and go back home. But not like you are in Nigeria, where you come to court. If you bring a claim before the court will have to look into it and see if there's a relief. Even though it was a temporary restraining order, nobody is looking into that now. Nobody, the EFCC will have to wait the process. That's even buying you time to lift that restraining order before they can do anything. In that case, you can get out, get away, and continue to abuse processes. So the way this all looks on the judiciary is something that breaks my heart, really. That's all for me. But the school, I think that let me leave it.
I was going to even read some of the comments from Yahaya Bello. I don't know if you guys have it already. He was saying what he was saying to defend himself specifically. He says, number one, according to his media, the press release released by his office, say His Excellency Yahaya Bello's children have attended the American International School long before he became governor, and he has paid fees for his children as when due without fail. Secondly, His Excellency, according to this, says Alhaji Yahaya Bello did not pay the sum of $720,000 as alleged by EFCC, and is being banded around the internet. So he's saying he didn't pay that money. Third, the payment of the fees was not effected at about the time His Excellency was to leave office, as claimed by Mr. Olu Koyede. And thirdly, Yahaya Bello did not pay the fees of his children with monies from the coffers of the Kogi State Government. Those are the key things that the press release has said.
Yeah, so of course there are lots of questions, and he has the right to an attorney. He has the right to someone defending him. He, however, needs to answer the questions that has been put, that his action or the press release has brought up. One of the things that I've felt concerned about is the fact that if we cannot resolve the issue of Nigerian naira to the dollar crisis until we deal with corruption, because the dollar is a preferred means of political financial exchange, and we need to address that part. So if a governor has allegedly dollar
is the preferred means.
Dollar is the preferred means of exchange, is the preferred means of exchange for politicians. And if a governor allegedly, according to him, he did not pay it that much, but he had over $700,000 to pay for school fees. And he can defend how he got it and why he's paying upfront school fees that long for his children. Then we can say, okay, where did the money come from? Because we can trace it. You can't have funds that you can't define where the source is. There is Code of Conduct Bureau. Every politician fills the Code of Conduct form to prevent corruption of what did you own before you became a governor? What was your income before you became a governor? And now that you are a governor, these expenses and the largesse you are expressing, where did it come from? I also think we need to add the fact that, because they can also say it was a gift, that what's the limit of gift you can receive as a politician? Because sometimes the gifts become a kickback in disguise. And other developed democracy had to put a benchmark there that if anything beyond a bottle of wine, even if the bottle of wine is now, even there's a price benchmark to the bottle of wine I can collect as a gift from you, any other thing is seen as you are bribing me. So if the governor can explain the source of this money and all the other allegations made against him, why is he running away from going to court? Why is he asking the EFCC not to investigate him? Why is he avoiding answering the questions that have been posed to him? Because when you run, you are displaying the attitude of someone who is guilty of an offense. So I'm waiting for his lawyers and the EFCC, and I don't want a case where EFCC will not be able to have enough materials to try this case properly till the end. Let's not do media trial.
What happens?
Yes, let's not do media trial. I don't want the one where it is TV and radio and social media that will not be talking about this issue. Let's focus on making not even a scapegoat, making an example of the fact that anybody in power now will know that you're not above the law. When you finish, EFCC will be waiting for you to capture you. Your immunity is only for a short period of time.
My fear is that sometimes the EFCC plays to the hands of the gallery. Instead of, just quietly doing the due diligence, then by the time you've gotten all your facts on ground and then you apprehend the person, then you can say this and this and this is what we have done and this person is now paying for it. But by the time we start, throwing up this case in public, we are holding him for this, we are holding him for that, you are giving the person time to go back and build their defenses. That's on one hand. Secondly, I know that how private institutions are able to help in these sort of cases is before you get into a prominent position, to do what they call asset declaration. So whether you came from a business place or however, they want to know how much you have, what assets you have.
That's what the CCB does.
Yes, what properties you have, anywhere you have it in your name, present it. So that if money is now missing in the coffers tomorrow, we can now say, but when you came to this job, this one, this and this is what you had before. How did this money, we're now able to trace the money that is missing from the coffers. Right now, I don't think in the case, because I don't know the history of the first case before they went to this one, if there were monies missing in the coffers of government during his time and why they started looking for money to now find that he had paid 720 or whatever they claim he paid.
As I said, there was a file of 80 billion
that was missing.
Money laundering, actually, case filed against in the High Court in Abuja.
Yes.
So he had a case to answer.
He had a case to answer. Now they found out that he was able to pay fees at the time that he had not answered the first case. And that's where the thing is. So I think going forward, the law, whether it's EFCC or whether it's the police, or need to do that due diligence in a way that the person you're investigating necessarily does not even need to know that you are investigating them till you get your facts right, because then you are giving people that power to
that
find.
EFCC already has all their because
No. The way they are brandishing everything on social media, this case he may end up getting away with this case at the end of the day,
because we've had this cycle before, we've had this conversation before. So I'm assuming. I would like to believe that EFCC would not initiate or institute a case against somebody of this caliber, this kind of person, without having an airtight. So hopefully you might be right where they do, but I'm hoping that by now, because we've had this issue of media trials, so I seriously doubt that people who do, these are people who have been doing this work and they recently appointed. I know the EFCC chairman is fairly new, was appointed last year. So I'm hoping that they have a watertight, because it will be very unfair to the Nigerian people
at the end
if you
so
start.
They might have a watertight, but let's even take some facts. So they have a case against Yahaya Bello of having extorted about 80 billion in connivance with two other persons, and the date dates back to preceding before he was in office. So if EFCC has a strong evidence that matter should have been clearly, they should have been charging him the day he handed over. Immediately, even if he was in absentia, they should have charged him. That's one. Two, the EFCC chairman, words of his own mouth, that he made a call to somebody being investigated. He offered him preferential treatment. That one break me.
Yeah.
If he had not, up until then, I trusted that the EFCC have a good case. But up until the EFCC chairman held a mic, addressing media, said, I made a call to the governor, telling him, just come. When you invite, as a security, when they invite people, I have gone to represent people pro bono that were invited, that their hands were shaking like the minimum.
For his caliber, there's nothing wrong.
That's the point itself.
Yeah.
There are no special heads.
No, that's the
Before that's why the justicia's statue is blind.
Yeah.
I know.
There's no special, nobody, there's no, he was formerly governor. His immunity died the day he handed over. He doesn't have immunity. If he is invited, you simply do the necessary, go to court, get a warrant, and arrest him. If you're investigating him and he's not showing up,
Nima.
you called him. You say you asked him to even use your own special staircase privately. Waiting now, waiting.
No,
waiting.
Nima.
There are special
That's
people
too much information for us. He didn't,
Yes,
he didn't need to tell us that.
And
But he can do it.
He didn't need to tell us that.
See,
Relationships.
see,
can do
I
it.
agree he can.
Yeah.
But
He
to
doesn't
say
need
it
to tell us,
is
yeah.
even to endorse certain things that we should not.
Okay, so that's different.
Different.
That's
That
a
one.
difference, yeah.
So that's, you see why some people are now thinking twice about which side to be on.
But you see,
No, I think, when it comes to power and levels of influence and hierarchy and all of that, there are people you accord a certain respect. Except you have gone
words,
to, no, wait
respect.
now.
Now, stop to use that word
No,
now.
yes, no matter what. You it's like you want to just come and pick up the president. You cannot. If you can put a call
You
through
can't
to him.
investigate the
no,
president.
No, hold on. Why can't you? After
Why
he
leave?
leaves.
The constitution has ensured that
after he leaves, that's president. After
Yeah,
Whatever
after
they
they
do as
leave, they should be,
president.
no, after they leave,
Okay, I
there
think,
are every other
I think we're
Nigerian.
arguing on
no,
a
it
very
doesn't
minor
come down
issue.
like
Let's-
that.
let-
Don't use
I
the
don't
word
think it's
respect.
something that we
Which one be
focus on.
disrespect?
But I think we've already stated where we are,
premise, yeah.
what's going on. But I think what I would like us to also touch on is how maybe other governors or even other leaders can even learn from this whole thing. Because when one person allegedly takes money, I'm not going to say it's still an allegation because it's still trying to challenge it, how one person can even possibly think of the idea of removing money and paying the child's school fees in advance, for me, it's quite
They label them
baffling.
personal.
If it's his
That's
money.
one. If it's his money, well, positive. If it's not your money, it's a different issue.
If it's your money,
a
your money
business
will
owner-
work
then
for you.
in dollars again.
You
If
will
you're a
invest
business
the money.
owner that you earned that money,
But he's not a
you
business
will not tie that money into school
Down.
fees ahead
not
of
a
time.
business owner.
So there is a lot of things fishy.
So, but why? See,
He's not fishy.
I don't-
He's not
Let
a
Tokpe-
business owner.
Tokpe
I
is
just
the
want them
money
to
expert.
establish the fact that he did not steal the money or he stole the money. There are two different conversations.
Yeah.
If he did,
He
you people are-
suggests.
you know when we
He
always say
suggests that the money was stolen. Tokpe was
he may not
just-
suggest
wait, now
that
he
the money was
suggests it.
stolen. But we have
Tokpe,
people who
let
pay
people
school
who
fees
are
can't see
ahead
anybody.
of
One
time.
at a time, please.
BC, wait.
We have people who pay school fees
6 years,
ahead
3 years
of
ahead
time.
of time.
Yes, you can clear it out. Yes.
If you
There's
have the money.
provision for that if you have the money for that.
Uh-huh.
If he had not stolen the money and he decides, oh, this part of money, oh, I have the ones I'm investing. I'm not investing everything and it's okay. I want to pay out and know that
he
I'm
dying?
not bothered about
That's
school
fine.
fees. That's different.
Is he dying?
We shouldn't fault that.
Is he on a sick
But if he
bed
has stolen
that
the
he
money,
has
that's a
to
different thing.
Okay,
bills
point taken.
ahead?
Yes.
Tokpe, please explain to us.
So
how money
I
is
just feel
invested.
that, when we have conversations like this and we choose to want to defend or not even defend, we choose to want to excuse,
Rationalize,
rationalize what somebody has done that just smells very fishy. We might end up normalizing some things that we should not normalize. But even be that as it may, Morayo said that this should serve an example to governors, sitting governors, because we need a template that ensures that nobody feels above the law at any point in time. You should be able to answer to the law. We rarely have, thankfully we have a few jailed high-profile cases, but we need to be able to try the cases. If your funds, you transfer the money went into another account in any form, because I'm sure that this money did not go from his account. It's just that the money was spent on his children's school fees. If you pay for your school fees, you paid for children's vacation, you pay for anything, there must be a thorough job to find out any way you have received gratuity on the position you are occupying. And that is why I'm hoping that I'm appreciating the EFCC so far for what they've done. And I don't want to hear about this again on social media until we are able to try the case till the end. Because what we now do is all of us are giving opinion and giving them ammunition and giving them suggestions.
Better protect themselves.
Let us just wait.
Yeah.
Let them not have this conversation until the end of the trial, that they've gotten to the point where these are the evidence we have. I don't need to know the evidence. I mean, Nigerian citizen, I just want to see that your case was tried and there was
comment,
conviction.
please, quickly.
Let me go quickly. When I come back, we continue with this. Stay with us right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will